Okay, let's see how we can use Arnold to make a really beautiful shield, right? So I'll do something similar as I did in the previous video, that I will first assign a material to the shield with the color of the reference image, but I'm going to do several things differently. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a 360 background, which is a HDRI image. What I mean by that is if you go to a Arnold lights, you can create a sky dome light. So basically you create a light that is emitted by a texture that will be all around your object. So if you do sky dome light, you can see that suddenly this logo exists in this big hole. What we need to do now is we need to download some HDRI texture that would fill in this spherical environment. And luckily for us, there is a website called HDRI Haven, which contains huge amount of different textures that you can use, right? If you want to support these guys, please do. If you have a little bit of money, that they are doing a fantastic job. So what we do, we'll position our logotype in front of this concert house. And what we'll do is we download this texture. It's usually best to get the highest possible resolution, but you know, I don't want to be using 340 megabyte texture in my test file, so I just use, for example, a 4K texture up in here, and I will save the file. And what I need to do is I need to move it to my folder where I want to have it, right? So what I'll do here is I'll go to my documents, Maya, projects, tutorial videos, series on logo, and source images. And up in here, I just get my downloads folder, and the logo type is called, let me just concert house HDR. Okay, beautiful. I can go back to Maya, and here in the sky dome light attributes under the color material, you can use a file, and that file is going to be your concert house texture. Right? So if I put number 6 here, you can see that if I rotate this, you can actually get this nicely positioned where you want it to be, right? So we'll just find a good position for it, such as, for example, here, and I rotate it a little bit so I get a bit nicer view here, right? So, or maybe actually you can position it in front of this old building, would be even nicer, all right? So the next thing that I want to do is I want to get the logo type to have a Arnold material at this moment, right? So I can't use standard like foam, grain Lambert material with Arnold. I have to use Arnold material. So what I'll do is I'll assign new material, and I go to a Arnold shader group, right? And the one that I'll use is a standard surface material. And what I need to do is assign the color to this material. So just like before, what I'll do is I'll go back to my channel box layer editor. I turn back on my reference layer, and I just need to pick the color of my reference layer. So back in my Arnold material properties, standard surface, I'll just pick the color of my TW. There we go, and I can hide the reference layer back, just rotating back to the view. And what I'll do now is with this logo type, I'm gonna make it a little bit more metallic. So what I want to do here is make it a bit more metallic, so it's going to be a bit more shiny, right? So even if I render it now, you're not going to get much difference if you would use a standard render, but if you use Arnold renderer, it's going to take a little bit of time, but you can see that the logo type is now nice and smooth. You know, there is no, it's nicely anti-aliased. And what I was still missing in here is a light, right? So what we do need to create here is some type of some direction light will do. I'm gonna move it so that I see which way it's facing the opposite way. So I'm going to turn on my lights here in the scene so I know what's happening, and I'll just use this direction. So I should do it maybe front facing. There we go. And the last thing that I can do is just to have one quick render. All right, and what I can do is just do a bit more metallic, so I get a bit more reflections from the environment here. One of the things that you can actually, guys, do is go into the Arnold render property, and you can, for example, you know, put it here. There we go. So there's your site, and in here you can just go and make it a bit smaller, so that it's not rendering perfect. Yeah, so it's not rendering one-to-one, so you still a bit of memory. But as you can see, if this is on and I'm rotating my thing, it's automatically doing the Arnold render for you, right? So the next thing that I'll do is I'll play a little bit with my light here. And what I'll also do is I'll increase the metallic properties of the material, right? So I'll make it super metallic. And I can see that I'm already getting a bit more reflections from the environment. And getting a bit more light here. And then making the light a bit more intense. Also a bit more light in here. There we go. So now if I go to a full render view and I render this, I'm gonna get a pretty good looking shield sitting in front of old building, old concept hall. If you wanna go crazy a little bit, what you can do is, for example, increasing the transmission here. You can increase the transparency of the material, so you get even a bit more impressive results. Now I can drop the metallicness here, so it's not as metallic. And you're starting to get all these nice transparencies and reflections. You can play with just try to give it a go and play with these parameters a little bit and see what it all does, how it behaves. For example, the IOR is index of refraction, which you can actually simulate water-like, right? So drop in the refraction, you can see how it immediately becomes even more transparent. Yeah, so just play with this, see how the different parameters affect the material. Have it one more render here, and then you see that of course this increases the hardware requirements, but also your results will look better and better as you go, right? So this is pretty semi-transparent logo type with some refractive properties, glassy looking like.